President Truman's catchphrase was "the buck stops here." This was really famous for him to the point where he put a little sign of it on his desk. This phrase comes from card dealing in early American history, in which instead of having a little puck that would demonstrate whose turn it was to deal, they would use a buckhorn or a knife that had a buckhorn on the handle, and that would be used to demonstrate whose turn it was. So when the buck stops here, it's your turn to deal, you got to do it right. And as president, the buck stops here means that he's the decider. All the good, all the bad stops with him. So if there's an issue, it's supposed to stop with him. Now, did he actually live up to this? No. I like Truman. He seemed like a good guy. He did a pretty good job as president. Not perfect by any means. However, just like anybody, they're not going to take all the damage whenever there's an issue. It's just not how it works. This is especially true when it comes to the Korean War. There was a lot of stuff that was done poorly in the Korean War. Some of that stuff you could lay at the feet of the president, especially since he's the guy where the buck is supposed to stop, and he would pass the buck over to his generals like MacArthur or other people, where he'd be like, no, actually it's the UN's fault. That's why this isn't going well. Actually, it's MacArthur's fault. That's why it's not going well. Because at the end of the day, he was a politician and a human. And it's hard for either one of those to be able to take all the blame when buck needs to stop.